There we go. Okay, so starting right again. So just welcome to the work of happiness. And we are doing a small deep dive into our intrinsic, deeper sense of self, which is we're going to find that internal happiness. When we are digging deeper into our happiness, it helps us avoid all those negativities, all the things that are negative outside that are outside of our control. And we're going to go through these exercises. It's relatively simple. It digs deep, but not in such an invasive way, if you will. So let's start first with the breathing exercise. So I encourage you to follow along, follow my prompts, and just see how that goes for you. And I will walk you through the whole breathing process. So the first thing we do is that we take a deep breath in and we take a deep breath out. So we breathe in through our nose and we breathe out through our mouth. So taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right. We're going to add one more element to this. So when we take a deep breath in through our nose, we're going to hold for a few seconds, and then we're going to breathe out through our mouth. So take a deep breath in through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and breathe out through your mouth. All right. The third element, I'm just gonna introduce you to another part of this breathing exercise. When we're breathing in through our nose, we're thinking positive thoughts. So we're increasing positivity. We're bringing in happiness and positive into our system. And when we're breathing out through our mouth, we're taking out anything negative. So in your mind, imagine that you're breathing in positivity and breathing out negativity. So in through your nose, positive and good thoughts and just goodness, and taking out bad and negative. All right. The last piece of this exercise is a little bit complex, so follow along. When you're breathing in through your nose, holding, and then breathing out through your mouth, we're going to play a little exercise, a little visualization, if you will. So when we're breathing in, we're thinking of garbage collectors. We're hiring a cleaning crew to get into our body, and these are positive, strong people. When we're holding, we're thinking about a garbage truck that is collecting all the garbage that that the cleaning crew is collecting. They're throwing it into the garbage truck. And when we're breathing out through our mouth, the garbage truck is leaving our body and it's taking out all that trash that was accumulated within us. So let's do this step by step. Breathing in through our nose, cleaning crew coming into our body. So breathe in, cleaning crew is in there, holding. The garbage truck is collecting all the trash that the cleaning crew is cleaning away. Breathing out, garbage truck has left the building and has taken away the garbage and has disposed of the garbage. So this was the breathing exercise component of the workshop. And what we're going to do is that now we're going to go into the meat of the workshop, where we're going to focus on the positive inhale, the stuff that we're taking in positive, the negative exhale, taking out the negativity, and the inspirational boost. All right, so those are the elements of this workshop. So element number one, the positive intake, where there's two parts of this exercise: gratitude and affirmation. So when we're saying gratitude, what typically happens in all these other programs, which are phenomenal and incredible, but what typically happens in other times when we're thinking of something that we're grateful for, it's generally speaking a very general, overarching thing. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I have a great spouse. I'm glad I have, I'm grateful for that. Usually it's general things. What I want you to think about right now is one thing in the last 24 hours that happened to you that you're just grateful for, a small miniature victory. It could be, I had a great phone call with my mom, or, I had, a small little victory. A client said something nice to me, anything of that nature. So something small, a small victory. For example, for me tonight, I was just now at a networking event, and this one person, also named Jeremy, so Yermi and Jeremy, almost similar. He heard that I shared about being a strategic connector, and he goes, "Oh, you should check out Bob over here, who's also a strategic connector." So it's just nice meeting somebody else who's similar to me. It's something small, but it made me feel really good inside, and I consider that a small victory. So I'm just grateful for meeting Bob today. So does anybody want to share? I know that Shelly cannot, but Liam, do you want to share one quick positive thing maybe?
Sorry, I was just chasing a 2-year-old. Give me a second to think about it. Actually, I think today, even just like a positive thing was just walking outside. It was a bit cold, but it's also beautiful seeing all the leaves and just having a bit of the day that I wasn't rushing and I wasn't busy and I wasn't focusing on my phone or my computer or work or anything. It was just like a nice time to just be able to walk and breathe and just be like in the very present moments.
Awesome. And we have here also a Shelly just actually, hold on one second, my chat just shut down. Shelly just shared that she is grateful for the change in the weather. Yeah, and how it's helping. Oh, nice. Breathing in fresh air. There's nothing better than fresh air. Absolutely. Thank you for the share. This is incredible. Okay, and that was the first part of the positive intake. Now, something important to realize that why this is so important, that specific, going so specific is because every day is going to be different. And every day is going to come with its challenges, its hardships that we face in that particular day. And if we're able to focus on something specific for that day, it has a greater impact on our happiness. And I'll explain to you very briefly why without going into the whole science and anything like that. But very, very easy. It's that we have a response that happens in our body. Remember the last time somebody gave you a gift. So if somebody gave you a gift, there was some kind of tension that was built up in you, something that you really, really wanted, and you're just filled up with this emotion, and you need to express that emotion somehow. So according to science, it says that when you actually say thank you, so there's a chemical in our brain that lights up and it makes us feel good. So by saying I'm grateful for or saying thank you for, actually releases a certain kind of energy, a certain kind of buildup that's in us. And that's the idea. We're trying to release tensions, even though they're positive, but this particular one has a positive effect. Later on, I'll show you how there's the negative, and we're going to deal with that in a second. But this is what's actually happening in your body. So going on something very specific for that day within the last 24 hours actually helps you release tension. So the next part is the affirmation. So any word that you say after the words I am actually have an effect on you, whether they are true or not. Okay, so for the most part, people believe who they are. So I'm a great person. Okay, that's positive, and it has a positive energy, also a certain kind of a release of attention, but it has a certain effect on us. And in this case, again, something specific for the last 24 hours, how do you feel about yourself? All right, so you want to think about your affirmation that you're saying, I am so-and-so. Now, if it's something you want to be in the future, that's also okay, because you're building up. Every day is one day closer to that future. So if you want to say, I am a successful businessman, I don't know, whatever, that's just as good. And again, we'll show you how that ties into the negativity part soon. But in this particular case, what is something that you have been feeling about yourself in the last 24 hours, either true or you would like it to be true? Doesn't make a difference, but an I am statement. So I am a caring, a caring entrepreneur. Today I had to deal with a certain client, and I came with the heart, and that is something I'm very happy about. So Shelly says that I am creative and energetic. Oh, I love it. That's so true. Yeah, Liam, do you want to share something?
I am calm and centered. That's a little bit more aspirational, but we're working on it.
That's beautiful. Yes, that's beautiful. Saramalka, if you want, you could also type it in the chat, or you don't have to. So that's the positive. So we're focused on two areas, something that we're grateful for and something that we own, that who we are. This is who we are. This is our authenticity. The second piece is now the negative exhale. We're taking out the negative things, and we're going to focus on forgiveness and accountability. So forgiveness is directly tied to the gratitude. So this is something that you know, just the same way that we want to express gratitude to somebody who gave us a gift, there's a lot of times that things happen to us that are negative and build a tension in us. And we have to, we have to first identify what that issue is. In this case, you don't have to share that. You don't have to identify what it is in front of a group. I want you just to identify it in your mind, something that happened in the last 24 hours that's sitting on your heart, that it's bothering you, okay? Now, this could be something that's in your control or out of your control. Somebody did something to you, something happened to you, something is currently happening to you, a situation, a circumstance, whatever it is. But I want you just to hold on to that thought and identify it. Just know that it's there, okay? Now, the second part is, how does that make you feel, right? So just identify the emotion that you're feeling. So you potentially could be feeling angry, sad, hurt, anxious, depressed, whatever the emotion that you're feeling, okay? That emotion, now I want you to think of being willing to let it go. If it was within your control to let that emotion go, at least be willing to let that go. Show some empathy and show some forgiveness to yourself to be willing to let go of that emotion. And if it was within your control, you'd be actually letting it go. But first, it's identifying what it is that's bothering you. The second piece is to identify what's the tension that's in you that's making you, emotional about it. And the third piece is to be willing to let it go. And if you were able to let it go, let it go. Okay. So if you could just say, I am willing, or something of that nature. If you want, you could share the emotion that you're feeling, the anger, the depression, the anxiety, whatever it is. You could share that as well if you want to. But primarily, I want you to focus on the forgiveness of yourself. Show love to yourself. Okay. So what is it? Okay, so we have here a share that I'm willing to let go of frustration. Frustration is a very strong emotion, definitely. So at least we have one participant that's willing to let that go. That's very, very important. Okay, so moving on to the fourth component of, we have one that's overwhelmed. That's very important. Yes, willing to let go of overwhelm. So now the fourth component is the idea of accountability. So remember that we said before the I am. So I am compassionate, I am caring, I'm a heart-centered entrepreneur, whatever it is. How does that person, the person that you said when you said I am, how does that person act under the given circumstances that you find yourself in? Doesn't mean that that's how you're acting right now, and that's okay. We did that in the forgiveness. We were willing to let it go. But how does that person act? All right. And I just want you to think about what is in your control to control overwhelm or to control frustration. What is it that you could do? Again, something small, something in the next 24 hours. Potentially it's taking a walk outside, maybe doing a breathing exercise, maybe showing up to happiness, workshop, or doing the happiness workshop on your own, whatever it is. Those are typically things that the I am person, whatever you said as I am, what does that person typically do in order to overcome the overwhelm? So if anybody wants to share, what is something that you could actually take accountability for, something that you could take ownership for, something that you could take responsibility for. So if anybody wants to share, the floor is open. Feel free to share also in the chats if that's something you want.
I guess to be more that calm and centered, some of the things in my life need to get done a little bit sooner and not waiting till that end of the wire.
A minute. Yeah. Oh, and this one is, I am creative and energetic. Therefore, I create a solution to my overwhelm by implementing better prioritizations of time. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Wow, powerful. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. I feel that as well. Yes, okay. So that was so we did the positive intake. So we took in positivity, the gratitude, the affirmation. We did the exhale, the negativity exhale. You saw how they're connected to one another. Forgiveness to gratitude, affirmation to accountability. These are directly all connected. Now we're going to do the inspirational takeaway. All right. Or basically you're grounding yourself with inspiration. Now, the important piece to take away from here is that inspiration is very different than motivation. All right. Think back to the last time you watched a motivational video or you read a motivational quote. How long did that motivation actually last? Did it change you? Did it do something? For the most part, these motivational things don't necessarily work. And what we really need to be focused on is inspiration. All right. The most successful people don't wake up in the morning saying, oh, I'm motivated to go turn over the world. No, they're inspired by the mission that they set forth. And even on days that it's just difficult and days that are hard, they still get up in the morning and they still get dressed and they still show up and they still do what they need to do because they are inspired. So I want you to look for something in your life, whether it's current, present, past, future, whatever it's going to be. Think of a sentence that you could write to yourself, almost like a motivational quote, but we're going to call it an inspirational quote, a mantra for yourself. I am a creative person who cares about people that are around me, and I take accountability to find, the good solutions. Yes, things are difficult. Yes, things are overwhelming. Yes, things are hard, but I have the tools that are needed and I know what I could do. Yes, things are outside of my control, but also things are in my control. And today I have the choice to wake up, get up, dust off, and get to work on the next step in my incredible life journey. How inspirational is that, right? So just think of, let's say, a little mantra, a little, almost like a prayer, if you will, or whatever it is that is going to inspire you. It doesn't have to be as long as I just did, but I like to tie everything in together. So whatever you want to share, there's one here that says, my tomorrow self will be more grateful and calm when I prepare more today. Yeah, wow, I'm inspired by that. That's a good one. So we're going to give you a few seconds for the last shares to come in, but that's it. That's all the exercise. You're looking for the positive intake, the exhale, the negative exhale, and then the grounding, the inspirational grounding. We always want to feel at a grounded level, a centered level. And if we're able to focus on two positives, two negatives, and a centered, I got this type of thing, like an inspirational quote, an inspirational push, we're on to the next big thing. All right, guys. So that's the workshop. We do have options of, you have to repeat this, right? So we do have options to be connected with an accountability partner, which we call the happiness expert. Just reach out to us and we'd love to discuss the next steps of what you could do as well and increase exceptional happiness in your life. So thank you all today for showing up. I know that there are some that are in different situations and everything, so they cannot share. Typically, the last 10 minutes are for people who have extra things that they want to share, but we could also let you go early today, so it's totally up to you. But
the other thing is people could come back again next week.
Correct. Yes, we have this every week. This is, again, the free version of the workshop. It's given every Wednesday, 7 to 7:30. And you see what you got. So we're looking forward to sharing more smiles and more happiness with you. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, great. We're getting such great feedback here. So thank you everybody for your feedback and for your comments and everything. Yeah, so we'll end it here and we will see you all next week. Thanks again and bye-bye.